Today we have Allison on the YouTube channel. And first of all, I would just love, Allison, if you introduced yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Allison Hardy. I am an email marketing strategist. I say that I help people solve on autopilot while they actually live their life.
Love it.
And I arrived on email marketing after being my own best client in January 2020. My husband was a chaplain and he got assigned to the COVID wing in March 2020 and was working like these crazy hours. My kids came home from school for 18 months and I was like, you know what? I need to make this whole email marketing thing work. And I had always leaned on email marketing, but like it had to be the thing that did the selling for me. So, during that time, I created this crazy email marketing ecosystem. And after a long series of events, here we are.
I love it. Yes. You're so good at it too. So it's very fun to just see how you're taking advantage of it. And I've done some bundles with you, so love it. So fun. We are going to talk about Black Friday, which
Yeah.
you guys might be like, if you're watching this live or on the day it airs, it's August. Like we don't why Black Friday? But both Allison and I are advocates of preparing ahead of time and realizing doing pre-launching, all of that, taking advantage of email marketing is going to really support that Black Friday sale. So I would love to just kind of know what you've done in the past. Like how many years have you done a Black Friday sale?
Yeah, I've done a Black Friday sale, I'm pretty sure every single year I've been in business. And I've been in this business since 2017. Um, I think Black Friday is like people are ready to buy on Black Friday, right? They are totally like, let me find a good deal.
Hmm.
So I've tried a lot of different offers on Black Friday, different like levels of support and price point. And what I have found is smaller priced items or products generally for me work better.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about you've done this for a lot of years. So like what kinds of offers and also probably what worked 5 years ago is probably not what worked in
Not
2024
at
and what will
all.
work in
Yeah.
2025. So can you just talk about kind of what offers you've done? You did talk about price point, but like are you going to be doing something new this year? What's kind of your plan there?
This year, so last year I did a suite of 5 offers.
Okay.
And like one offer went live on Monday, one offer went live on Tuesday, and they kind of like expired as the week went on. What I found, just based on data and feedback that I got from people, was that it was too quick. So they didn't have enough time to make decisions about the things.
Hmm.
And I thought that was interesting because I even did like a wrap up on on day like 6. They all went live again. But again, I still got the feedback that it was still too fast. So I've done a lot of different offers, and the ones that were most successful were very like timely. So I did one. I don't know the year this happened, but the year that Reels came out, I think it was 2020. The year that Reels came out, I
Hmm.
did a Reels mini course for Black Friday. They came out in like the spring at some point.
Yeah.
So like not they hadn't been around for that long. That went off like gangbusters. That thing sold like crazy because everyone was like, I don't know what to do on Reels, right? So it really like met the market where it was at. So taking those two pieces of information, it was too fast last year and like the timeliness of it. I'm developing something this year that is centered more around AI because AI is the thing everybody's talking about. And is from what I'm planning as of right now is going to help people to write more effective sales emails. So sale like pitch emails.
Love.
Um yeah, I'm interested to see how it works because again, I think it's really timely and it is going to be like alive for a longer period of time. Or it's going to be in special for a longer period of time this time instead of just the 1 day thing.
So for when you did, because I see that a lot, the 5 day, type of thing. And everybody's a different type of buyer, right? I
Yeah.
am an over analyzer to the extreme, so I don't get enticed by those type of sales. But if it was like a $27, like what was the price point on those 5 things?
They varied greatly.
Okay.
Because I wasn't sure like what would work. So I did like a VIP day, which was thousands. I
Hmm.
did a $7 subscription a month. I did my membership, which was I think at the time like $100 a month around there.
Okay.
I did a couple of like products that were bundled. So those were around like 250. So I was a little bit all over the place simply because I'd never done this before and I wanted to see what worked best.
So did you have a day that worked better? Like did the smaller things work
Yes.
better for you then?
The
Okay.
smaller thing worked better.
Okay.
Also, I'm able to discount those because they don't involve me. They're just
Yeah.
like the information that I created. So like I can discount them 50%. And while I don't love doing that, I think at Black Friday, like people are looking for a deal.
Yeah.
So I was able to really have a steep discount on them because again, it's not me doing anything live. Whereas like the VIP day, I can't discount those a
Right.
whole lot. So
Yeah.
like I think with that, it wasn't like the VIP day especially, it wasn't super enticing because like it wasn't like it was a rapid, like a massive discount on it. You know, they could still buy it any other time of the year and it was relatively the same price.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So you're already kind of thinking about Black Friday. How many months in advance do you start planning for Black Fridays?
Yeah, that's a great question. I start planning probably like right after Black Friday, not because I'm like making any decisions, but because I will forget. So I do like a debrief
Yeah.
after Black Friday where I write down all of my ideas and thoughts and feelings about how it went or how badly it didn't go and all that, you know.
Yeah.
I got all that out. And then I leave like lessons for myself, which
Yeah.
sounds so crazy when I tell you that loud. But like I will write like in last year's I was right I wrote like it was too fast. So you need to have one offer and try slowing it down. And I'll write like the reflections down and then potentially some like action items for me to do for the next year. So try this, try this, try this. And then that gives me like, oh, right, jogs my memory. That's what happened. Okay, cool. So then when I'm planning, I can start to really dig into that with some education. And so I'll actually start planning Black Friday probably at the end of the summer, like when this goes live,
Yeah.
just so I have an idea as to what that is. Because I also like to have like 2 quarters somewhat solid in advance, like planned. So
Mhm.
that again helps me to do that also.
Yeah. So let's go into email sequences,
Yeah.
since you do that. Can you kind of walk us through like what your email sequence or like sales funnel looks like?
Yeah. So specifically for Black Friday, I do think a pre-launch is really, really important because people are, again, looking for a deal. And
Mhm.
I think we need to prep them for what's coming simply because on Black Friday, they're getting a lot of information,
Yeah.
right? I remember I opened up my email on Black Friday and I think I had like it was like 8 o'clock in the morning and I had like 100 emails. And I was like, oh, that's a lot. I can't look at all of this. So, but what I did do was find the people that I knew I wanted to buy from. So I think like that's how people are buying. And I knew that I wanted to buy from them because they had already told me what was going to be on sale. So I
Yeah.
like had it in my head, like these are the th four things I want to make sure I snag.
Hmm.
So if we take that sort of idea and apply it, I do think it's really important that you start a wait list or just start building, hype around it a good like month out. I last year only did it about a week or two out. I don't think it was enough.
Yeah.
And my reel, I remember like thinking about like my Reels mini course back in 2020. I prepped that thing for like a month. I asked questions, I did market research, and again, I had a really successful launch. So I think when it comes to Black Friday, like asking questions, getting people on a wait list, would you find this helpful? Would you find this valuable? What questions do you have about this? Maybe doing like a survey.
Yeah.
And you could even offer like an incentive for people. If anyone like does any of those things, you give them, I don't know, something else or like a discount or something.
Yeah.
Um, I think really like prepping people for the launch is really, really important for Black Friday, for sure.
Yeah, totally. I think the only exception is if you are launching something that, like, you are which I don't know many entrepreneurs who offer only one thing. Like, they sell these website templates. That's all they do for their business. And you're putting them on sale. Like, everyone knows that you're going to put website templates on sale. Like,
Yeah.
maybe then you don't need to, like, have your pre-launch runway, but especially like you have a lot of different things in your business. Like you
Mhm.
do VIP days, you're in email marketing, you put on bundles. Like so you people wouldn't be able to just guess what you're doing for Black Friday. And same with me, like people wouldn't be able to just guess. So if am I going to do my SEO course? Am I going to do my VIP days? Like you wouldn't know. So I do think, yeah, like being very, very clear a month or so in advance is really wise.
Yeah, and you can even give them like the schedule. You know, you can say like it's gonna go live at 50% on this date. The
Yeah,
sale is going to end on this date, so mark your calendar. Maybe even like make like a calendar subscribe link where they can just click it and it gets added to their calendar. Like
yeah,
think about those like different touch points that you can get for people or from people to make your sale more successful. Because I do think the more prepped people are, the more likely they will be to buy.
yeah. I saw somebody, I don't want to misquote who it was. I think it might have been Ashlyn. Carter, but she did or whoever it was did this like magazine, which I loved because do you remember back when we were like young and we would get like the American Girl doll magazines or whatever it was, and you circle what things you want and then you hand it to your mom and you're like, this is what I want for Christmas. And
Yeah.
so that's what it felt like to me. I was getting this magazine that I could like circle because she did have a lot of offers. And so you could circle which ones you wanted and it was just beautifully laid out, which I know if you're a solo business owner, like realistically you might not be able to do that. But can you quickly do a one pager on Canva that's just yeah, shares what you're gonna do and then, make a fun email about circle what you want and that go
Yes.
out multiple times. How many
I
times
love that.
how many emails do you think
Mm.
you should send out when the offer isn't even live yet?
Yeah, maybe like
One
once
a
a week.
week?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Just so people feel like they're along for the ride on the creation process. Because I think like a lot of times people love to feel like they have like a part of it, right? People want to feel like they belong or they were like contri helpful for this.
Yeah.
So if you can bring people along on that ride, on that journey of what it looks like to create it, I think they're way more interested in buying it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you segment your list or like do anything special for past customers or do you just send it out to everyone?
I don't do anything special for past customers per se. Um, But I will like remove, obviously I've removed people who have like bought the thing already if it's like a old product. Um, People who are like current clients, I wouldn't send them like the promotional emails. I might send them something else. Like, hey, just so you know, this is what I'm doing on Black Friday. If you want to take advantage of it, here you go.
Mhm.
But I don't necessarily segment a whole lot when it comes to something like Black Friday. Other things, yes. But
Yep.
Black Friday, I really think it's like a again, people are looking to buy, they're looking to get a good deal on something. So like a lot of your people and if it's an offer that a lot of your people could benefit from, I
Yeah.
think it's a great idea. You don't have to really necessarily segment. But if it's like very specific, like a very specific task, I'm trying to think of like an example here, but I can't really think of anything right now. If it's a very specific thing that you know not everybody on your list is going to need, then yes, it might make sense to segment. Um, so it's kind of like a what works best for your audience type of thing.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't prepare you for this question, but I am just so interested in what you would have to say. So I just feel like 2025 has been such a hard year for launching and maybe like the second half of 2024, at least for me. Maybe that's just me. But um, what do you like? And maybe this isn't necessarily Black Friday specific, but have you seen that? Has it been hard in the past 6 months for
Yes.
launching? And any advice there? That's the most broad question. I'm sorry. But go just whatever you have to share.
No, it's totally fine. 2025 has been really hard. I've had a hard time in my business, for sure. And everyone is like, it's not
Yeah,
just you, Becca.
that's what I
It's
hear.
everyone. Everyone is having a harder time. I have a friend that has, like her very first launch of her program that she ever did was like six figures. Like she's always been very, very, very successful in her launches. And I got on a call with her not too long ago, and she was like, I had the worst launch I've ever had in my entire business. And I think and nothing changed. It's not like she like tried something new. It was all the same launch. So
Yeah.
that number one, that actually made me feel better. I was like, okay. Okay, okay. But I think part of it is knowing that it's hard right now. I think that's like super helpful. Number two, it's listening to your market. So like, what are people saying? What are people buying right now? If they're buying anything, like what's the price point of it? What's the support level? What's the promise of it? So like watching the bigger names, that's what I've been doing. I've been watching the bigger names and seeing how they're kind of talking about their programs and if I can find any themes. So I think that like I think also partially it's like we need to try new things. We got to get innovative and try a different way of doing it because obviously what we're doing right now isn't getting us the best results. So like if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's just that's on you. So try something different, try something new. If you've ever had like a wild idea where you're like, "Ah, that's so great, like maybe it's time to try it. Like I'm currently actually redoing my entire funnel, which I have not actually redone in like a year. So it's due, but I'm doing it in a way that I've never done before because I'm like, you know what? Let's just like see what happens. You can make educated guesses, you can look at data. Um, but like just I think we need to just try some new things and see what happens because I think that's where the innovation comes and that's where people can be like, oh, this is refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's encouraging for other people to hear that. And I think if you are newer in business, I've only been around since 2018, but just a reminder that it does go in waves. And I get not everybody can, go through this wave because maybe they don't have someone like their husband. I have a husband who I can get insurance through,
Right.
so I get not everybody can, and that's not necessarily a reflection on you. But if you can ride the wave, it will get better. That's my first thing. And then something else I feel like is people are just so much more like in 2020, they were like, it was actually the best year of my business. And so I think people were really inclined to like they're starting out, they at least for me, they were starting out in business. They wanted to buy new things, to learn new things. They wanted a new website. And now people are just so much more buyer aware and like they're skeptical. And so I was listening to Amy Porterfield talk about how she is like going when she does her, I don't know, webinar or whatever, and they ask questions, she takes them behind the scenes of her course and is like, here,
Yeah.
this is where I answer this. And I think that's so good. Like show people the back end of your course and what it actually offers or whatever it is, to really show them the value. That's kind of the same thing with testimonials, but I think just that takes it a step further.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think, yeah, and I totally agree with you about 2020. Everyone came online in 2020 and everyone was like, holy guacamole, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I
Yep.
think a lot of people invested really heavily. And for the most part, I think those investments are great. But I do think there is a portion of that audience that got burned
Yeah.
by, bad business owners who didn't follow through with the things that they promised.
Yes.
So I do think we now have more skeptics in our audiences thanks to that. But yeah, I think like when I teach email pitch sequences, I talk a lot about the frequently asked questions email that we should all have.
Mhm.
And one of the things I say in there is like when someone asks you a question, like of course answer the question, but like what's the deeper underlying thing there? And how can you show them that the program that you're offering them, whatever the thing is that you sell, can help them to overcome that objection or that limiting belief? So like an example is like if you get a question a lot of like how many hours should I expect to spend in your program a week? You can answer it yes, but then like think like why would someone in my audience be asking that? Like are they at home with little kids? Does their spouse travel? Are they in a 9 to 5 and they're consuming your thing in the evenings and weekends? Like what's the problem there? What's the objection? What's the thing that they're concerned about? And then how can you bring your program in, whatever the thing is that you're selling, to like teach to that? So do you have like a tool that speeds them up their results? Do you have a tool that cuts down on their time? Like what's the thing? And I think that echoes what Amy Porterfield is saying. Like what's the thing that really helps you to see those results in your program and like giving them a snapshot of like what it's like inside your program, I
Yeah.
think just lowers that that like wall people put up or that risk that they feel.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I think that's great advice, especially for people if you're doing your first Black Friday launch, like just taking all this, answering the FAQs, all that is going to be really helpful.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of going in a different direction since you've done so many Black Friday, how has it impacted your business beyond just revenue, like momentum, confidence, anything like that? Or maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's been frustrating. I don't know.
I mean, I've had some that were frustrating. Last year was kind of frustrating for me because I had like such great ideas and it just like didn't work out. It was fine, but like, blah, I just kind of felt
Yeah.
like that was a lot of work for like a very little ROI.
Yeah.
So, like, even if your launch goes badly or not in the way you wanted it to go, it's nothing more than data and a lesson. So,
Mhm.
like, I think that's just really good information to have. My December is always pretty low. Like I think my people just kind of check out in December. I hear a lot of people say December is their best month, and I was like, that has never been the case for me, and that's fine. That's just how my business is. So knowing that going into it, Black Friday has been a great way to just keep that momentum going through December and into the new year.
Yeah.
Because December and January generally my lowest months, which again is fine. I know that information, so I can prepare for it. So it's helped with momentum. It's helped with like getting us through the hump. It's also just been a great way to test offers. So like that Reels mini course I had, like I sold that thing for years, just constant sales because Reels were so confusing to people when they first came out. And then, that trend went away and people got used to it and that product became like defunct basically, and that's fine. So this year I'm interested in seeing how this like AI product that I have in my head works and how long I can ride that wave for. How long
Yeah.
will AI still be something people are talking about? I think it's changing the scope of our businesses greatly. But I don't know because I'm not in the future yet. So like I'm interested to see how that works. I think it's been a really cool opportunity to really create something maybe new or enhance something that you already have and really listen to the struggles that people have and how can you create something that comes alongside of that and helps them to do the thing that they want to do using whatever the thing is that it is.
Yeah. And I think going back to what we talked about earlier, if you're going to do something new, you 100% need to be talking, promoting
Yes.
month, if not months in advance. Something else I thought about just randomly that might help whoever's watching, that we, in terms of phrasing, the thing about like in Black Friday and in November, like stepping into December, stepping into holidays, that's overwhelming. Like, will people actually implement the thing they just bought from you? Probably not. And so we switched our phrasing, and by we, I mean I did a thing with Dolly, Mara, and I last year to be this is something that's going to help you in 2025. It was very much 2025 phrasing. So you could think about if your product or whatever aligns with that, using that phrasing instead, because they probably won't be cranking out whatever it is in December.
Yeah, absolutely. In like if you're like us and our businesses don't sell as much in December and our people generally check out, I think that's a great point to bring up. Also, something to think about is like not only prepping your audience for the thing that you're offering, but becoming like an expert in the thing that you're talking about leading up to that. So like if you want to be a Black Friday, expert like you guys, you have this thing going live in August that's going to get people who are interested in a very specific topic, interested in your thing. That might benefit them down the road. So like for me, if I'm gonna roll out like an AI based product in Black Friday, being in like AI events or hosting AI events this year is probably really important for me to
Yeah.
get not only my audience prepped, but also people who are qualified for what I potentially might have into my world. So like same thing with what you're doing right now.
Yeah. Well, awesome. This has been so helpful and insightful. So thank you so much for sharing. Do you have anything that you can offer the audience that's listening?
Yeah, so I have a template. It's called the $80,000 email template. It's a like Mad Lib style email that'll help you to write a sales email more effectively. It brought in $80,000 in sales in my business last year. So it works. It's beneficial when you use it effectively. And so I'd love to gift that to your people.
Awesome. I'm just curious, how many like emails are in it? Does that make
It's
sense? Okay,
just
just
one
one.
email.
That
Yeah.
one email brought in you $80,000?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty
Okay.
cool.
If I haven't downloaded it, I might need to re-download because freebies sometimes like things go to like
Oh,
I
yeah.
might need to like, yeah, you know, you know.
Yeah, and that's the funnel I'm rewriting now. So if you opt in when this goes live, you'll get access to
Oh,
like a new funnel that I'm totally jazzed up about. So, yay.
awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm linking everything below, her social media, all that. So just check below. And thank you so much for coming on. If you enjoyed this interview with Allison, me and two of my business besties are hosting a summit from August 26th to the 28th, and it's all about how to create and launch a profitable Black Friday offer. We are having tons of amazing speakers speak at this event, and it's going to be just those 3 days, so make sure to get in. I'll link it below and look forward to seeing you there.